Buy my shirt. Buy my hat. Buy it all.
I also have a playlist.
Stream it now.
Wait, I should probably put on like a shirt that doesn't have God's name on it. Seems like a bad investment in my future. Hey everybody, what's up? If you're new to my channel, my name is Klemens, or for one of my Clementines, welcome back to the dysfunction that is my channel. I just realized, why did I clean my entire room and not make my fucking bed? Look at me go, I'm domestic. I say as I make my fucking bed. Wow, this is like definitely a moment where I wish I was Eliza Thornberry to just fucking talk to some animals and have them like Snow White this whole thing. Oh, I guess Snow White could also talk to animals or whistle to animals. Why am I even talking about this? Okay. Looks the fucking same, cool. Anyways, I don't know why I'm out of breath. As a lot of you know, I used to live in New York City for 5 years before moving here to Los Angeles, and I wish I could describe the level of unrealness my life was. So here I'm about to try. Some of my favorite videos end up being like my story times that I do, but I do them so infrequently because my life is so chaotic that it's honestly hard to remember these. So I figured instead of doing one long story time, I give a bunch of smaller little nuggets. You know, it's like a 6-piece chicken McNugget, but like it hopefully won't give you diarrhea. So the year is 2012. I want everybody to get comfortable. I've got a matcha here. I've got some other things off camera that I'm trying to not mention to keep this video monotone. Get ready to laugh at, oh, just so much misfortune. I am misfortune. Okay, so the first story, I feel like I should say anecdote because like, I don't even know if these stories are gonna have like a beginning or a middle or an end or any combination of those. So the year is 2012 and I moved to New York City to attend my very first year of NYU. My, at the time, like agent, I couldn't use air quotes more emphatically. My agent sent me to this like giant casting call, and one of the movies there was Wolf of Wall Street by Martin Scorsese. They were like, would you like to be in a Martin Scorsese movie? This was my first semester at college and I'm like, holy shit. So I missed literally the last month of my first semester in college. I sent an email, I was like, listen bitches, I'm out. So literally there is 19-year-old Chris walking around a literal movie set. I mean, like, I should not have been there, and it's not because I was secretly taking Snapchats of Jonah Hill. Having lived in Delaware for 18 years, famous people were so fascinating to me. So I literally had my like phone in my suit pocket because we all had to dress like stockbrokers. Yeah, that's right, I was a stockbroker. So my first day on set, Jonah Hill is the desk behind me. One of the scenes is the scene that all the strippers come into the office and we're dancing on a tabletop. So I'm drinking champagne, dancing with this beautiful black stripper. And I was the whole time I was supposed to be in class. Because again, I'm a freshman in college. One of the days was like Jonah Hill's birthday, and the location we were at had this like stairwell you had to go up in order to get to it. And he was standing in the stairwell on the phone. Dumbass me is walking up the stairs and I see him. And I'm like, happy birthday, Jonah. And he's like, thanks, man. I was like, you're welcome, man. You're welcome, man. And also he was wearing like the fake teeth he had to wear in the movie, so he was like, thanks, man. So basically after the month of doing like 16-hour days, I went home to Delaware for winter break, and then I started this channel because I missed being on set so much. Okay, now that I'm thinking about it, that sounded like I was just bragging the whole time. No, the main takeaway is that I have always been and will always be socially embarrassing. Which brings me to story number 2. This was junior year of college. I was in my very first apartment and I was on Tinder. So yes, I was depressed. I matched with this really hot woman who was like in her 40s. I want to say she was like 42 or 43. That's fine by me. I love a nice older but not too old kind of person, you know? Anyways, not important. Mom, don't watch this video. You know, she just has pictures of her friends and you know, the fun vacations she goes on. I'm like, wow, this is gonna be great. I go up to her apartment on the Upper East Side. She looks exactly like her pictures. I'm like, oh, this is going great. I think she was like the mom of 2 kids. And I only know that because we tucked them into bed and I read Goodnight Moon to them. And then I ate out their mom. So that's pretty sick. Wow, that story didn't take long at all. There was no like mother of 2 special angels in her bio. And the worst part is I had trouble reading Goodnight Moon. Do you know how embarrassing that is? To be stumbling over words in Goodnight Moon? So that's a story. I don't know why I shared that one. It's really such a bummer that I don't do a better job of remembering my life. Like, If I did, I guess I would just be Tana Mojo, so never mind. Should not have smoked a bong before this. These stories are like 10 times more jarring. All right, so my next story, I do actually remember a lot of, and I don't know how because I was in the back of a van blacked out. Let's get into it. If I'm doing a story about the time we ended up blackout on the way home from the Hamptons, can I use your name, your first name?
Of course.
Okay.
You can use my full name.
You're psychotic. So one of my best friends, Emily, who I just FaceTime, invited me to this Milk Makeup like influencer trip to Montauk. If you don't know what Montauk is, it's like a fucking 2-hour drive out of the city, and they put us in these Sprinter vans, and of course they put GoPros in like every corner because it's like an influencer trip. They ultimately take us to this like private beach club. I don't really know what that is other than just like an excuse for white people to come together and be like kind of extra awful together. For the sake of the story, we'll just call it East Coast Coachella. So my friend Emily and I decided to just get drunk, and I don't know why, but I remember just on every table at this East Coast Coachella were just fucking boxes and boxes of cigarettes. I don't know if the event was sponsored by a cigarette thing or what, but it was literally like the duty free at the Dubai airport. It was fucking crazy. Now, I am not proud of this, but I am one of those people who will sometimes smoke cigarettes when they're drunk. So naturally, I ended up smoking like 2 boxes, but yeah. Your Honor, I don't think that that should be a reflection of me. I think it should be a reflection of how horrible white people dressed in head-to-toe linens are. I think we also saw like Kim Kardashian's best friend there, and we took selfies with him and then made him airdrop them to our phone.
You've got mail.
A lot of other shit happened, but basically when it was time to go, I had to do one of those like sit downs with myself where you're like, Chris, listen, you're not gonna throw up. You are not gonna throw up. I really felt like I was gonna throw up, and I couldn't just like roll the window down and throw up and laugh about it the next day like any other normal Uber ride home from a bar, because my friend invited me on this trip. I just did not want to be the person that she invited and fucks the whole thing up by throwing up everywhere. Okay, my battery died. Shit happens. Anyways, how did I think I was gonna solve this solution of making her not look bad? Climb over 3 fucking rows of drunk girls passed out asleep in like sexy little club dresses to sprawl out in the trunk, which I later found out was a steel bed trunk, because of every fucking pothole we hit. And then I just found out 10 minutes ago that apparently all I was screaming was black and white milkshake, which I fully believe happened.
You have to remember you screaming from the back of the van. Just no words, no can I, no can you get, just the words black and white milkshake.
So that is the story of how I ended up blacked out in the back of a van. Not how you thought, was it? Or maybe it was exactly how you thought. Anyway, we don't need to discuss that. What we do need to discuss is how I actually ended up blacking out from being roofied at an award show. Jesus Christ. After saying that, I guess I would say preface, but it's a little late for a preface. These are all true, 100% accurate stories. I have nothing to gain by lying, especially with the light I'm painting myself in for this. It's not great. So the Shorty Awards are held in New York City, and it's like a, you know, social media award show. Basically, I went to the Shorty Awards with my friend Eileen, and we sat at a table, and obviously we were like drinking and having fun, but we weren't like, I mean, yeah, we were going crazy, but I remember fully being like aware, present, other synonyms for those words. And so the award show's over and we go to the after party. Now, the after party for the Shorty Awards was held at this like top floor of a building that was a bar inside, and then it had like all these different like outdoor patio situations. So Eileen and I are sitting outside, and this girl comes up to us and is like drunk and crying. So since we're sitting there trying to be there for this girl, we obviously weren't getting up to go get drinks, so we're fucking sober. So this party, I guess, also had cigarettes. I don't know if lung cancer is just sponsoring every event these days, but there were also boxes of cigarettes there. So 2 hours passes, and so does an entire box of cigarettes. We decide to finally go to the bar and actually get a drink. Now, this is the part when Kesha and Pitbull are yelling, "It's going down," I'm yelling timber. Now, before I explain how this went downhill, I want to remind you of the motherfucking Carfax. After sitting and talking for 2 hours, mind you, in the winter weather, we are sober at this point of the night. So we each order a drink and we tell her to make them really strong. The bartender was moving so slowly and like almost didn't seem like they knew what they were doing. And like, I'm not judging, it's just knowing what I know now something seemed off. Then these people came up to randomly talk to us, and I remember out of my peripheral, again because I'm fucking sober, that our drinks were finally being poured. I like saw the ice and I saw garnishes being put in like when I would look out of my peripheral. And so I was like keeping an eye on it, and I'm not an idiot. I've been roofied before this event. So basically we talked to these random people and we're like, yeah, okay, bye-bye. So we go get our drinks and we decide to chug them because we were, again, sober. And then we were like, oh, we actually have to use the bathroom now. And so we stood in line for the bathroom and something happened. I remember both of us just looking at each other and being like,
Do you feel okay?
and we were just like, good old fashioned fucked up. So we're both in line for the bathroom, both go to the bathroom, and we are like violently throwing up and we can't even like stand up. We both kind of like hit this conclusion that we weren't drunk, we think we've been drugged. I don't know how, but I call us an Uber, and it was pretty close to my apartment at the time. So we got home, and my manager is staying with me. She's on my fucking couch right now. And I walk through the door, and I remember my friend going straight to the bathroom because she ended up throwing up. And I remember me going over to the couch to try and explain, and I remember so clearly in my brain being like, Chris, focus on speaking. And I just couldn't talk. At this point in my life, I was like a professional drinker. Dare I say, maybe an alcoholic. But basically, I know what it's like to get too drunk, and I know what it's like to be hungover. The next day, I could not keep my head up. I could not stay awake. I was like literally typing and then going, let me tell you, that has never been my personality when I'm tired. When I'm tired, I'm like, we go, baby, this is work. But it was the strangest thing, and we had come to the realization that we had gotten roofied at the fucking Shorty Awards after party, and I didn't even win that year. I took 1 L, and then I went to the after party and took a fucking second, and then third. You know what's crazy is that after all of these stories, I miss it. I don't get that shit here in LA. The most I get up to here is if I'm out at a club, I see some girl in like a fur-length coat with like hair extensions, and I'm like, Ms. Kardashian West, your prison reform work has been incredible. And like, that's my idea of fun now. I'm so excited because a few hours after this video is posted, I'm heading to LAX to hop on a plane to New York City for the week. I'm just gonna be hanging out. I'm gonna be filming some stuff. Oh my God, Elle Mills is sitting next to me. We're gonna be first class bitches. So yeah, I might have a part 2 to this. After this next week. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it wasn't like a typical story time. It was like a bunch of little ones of, I thought, fun anecdotes. My memories in New York mean a lot to me, and I feel like I really kind of grew up in like my adult sense there. And so a lot of my memories mean a lot because they're like the first ones that not meant something, but like, I don't know where I'm going with this. Literally talked about fucking a mom after tucking her kids in, and then getting roofied in events. So I'm just gonna cut the philosophy lesson short. Have a good one, kids. I literally have to go pack.